I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible.
When you say you're going to do something, you do it.
I do solemnly swear
There is no starting or stopping, only doing.
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
You gotta protect it.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
In the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Welcome back to the Progressive Patriots podcast. Man, it's been about a month, I think, since we last spoke. Man, I've just been fucking busy doing the actual stuff, you know what I mean? Not just observing it and then talking about it, been actually out there doing stuff. One fun one. I did get to antagonize Carrie Lake at a little Easter parade. That was pretty fun. But there, various things like that, not just antagonistic, but also like supportive kind of things and helping different candidates out that I like. All right, but that's enough of that shit. So today I had a chat with a woman who leads one of the chapters of the Indivisible movement, which is a women's reproductive rights kind of thing. So she runs one of the chapters here in Phoenix. So we've been to various places like the Carrie Lake thing, among others. So it was a little bit more candid than the one with Danitza over the deported veterans. So this one's a little bit more candid, a little bit more informal, a lot of fucking tangents, but it's all good. It's still a good conversation. We talk about the Arizona Supreme Court and that just completely ridiculous ruling that they gave on Tuesday. If you've been living under a rock, where there's no fucking Wi-Fi or anything. So the Arizona Supreme Court, they ruled four justices to two, that the 1864 law on reproductive rights is enforceable since Roe was overturned. Now, in case you didn't know, 1864 is quite some time before Arizona was actually a state. We got our statehood in 1912. So, yeah. Either way, this law is 160 years old. It's completely unacceptable. Right now, it's in a stay period for 2 weeks. As of Tuesday, it was 2 weeks. So, yeah. So before I get into that, before I bring that conversation audio in, just some quick hits that stood out to me just from around the world. I think for the foreseeable future, at least to the end of the year, with it's a fucking major election year. So I think it's gonna be almost entirely U.S. centric, but I will still be doing some quick hits here, just some couple of stories from here and there that stand out from around the world. So in particular, just the geopolitical network and alliances and partnerships and all that shit, and how it's really starting to take a much more firm shape. NATO, if you're listening to this, you know what NATO is. For the uninitiated, it's like a mutual defense alliance. That's what it is. If you attack one, you attack all. There is not an Asia Pacific equivalent to that. So major allies of ours like Australia or New Zealand are not part of the cannot be NATO members. South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, you get the picture, right? So it seems that some kind of framework like that is starting to develop. I don't think it doesn't seem to be developing into just a singular organization like NATO, but it will. I think it'll have a lot of the same features. You know what I mean? Like mutual defense, fucking sharing intel, things like that. If you don't know, there's another. The U.S. our strongest alliance of any of them, of any partnership that we have, is called Five Eyes. It's Canada, U.S., New Zealand, Australia, and U.K. Like, as you can probably see, like it's all English-speaking nations. Like it's like it's the native spoken language. Yes, French and Canada, but like English is still one of the primary languages. So like it doesn't have, there is no room for things being lost in translation, which that's not really a thing anymore anyway, but still that's part of where that was how that sort of came into play. Those other four nations have always been our closest allies. I think Canada and UK above the other two, but that's just mincing words, really. There are other countries that are really close to Five Eyes, like Germany is one, France, Japan, like you get the idea. So anyway, this framework, it seems like it's starting to take a more of a web. Right now, the U.S. is like the linchpin that holds a lot of those alliances together, kind of, or, you know, like Philippines and Vietnam, they have the same grievances with China over the South Asia Sea. We don't call it the South China Sea anymore, or the East Asia Sea. We're doing that. It's not the Chinese Sea anymore. But anyway, so Philippines and Vietnam have the same issues, but just individually cannot do a whole lot. And we support both of them. And they're starting to develop interoperability. I know that I've spoken on Vietnam and Philippines doing some joint exercises, with the U.S. kind of taking a back seat and letting them develop their partnership together. You know what I mean? With guidance from us. You know, we're the largest nation, largest military, economy, etc. So there is guidance coming from us, but they're in the driver's seat and the and the vehicle commander seat, and so riding shotgun for non-military types. So that is starting to take a bigger shape. New Zealand, they are starting to branch themselves out into the world at large, but their primary focus is with us. Asia Pacific, the other APAC partners are specifically Korea, Australia, and Japan. So they're going to be developing interoperability, joint exercises, joint military drills, that type of stuff. And I think EU, they said EU, but they didn't specify. But I'm assuming UK, France, Germany, the same major players as always. But who knows? There might be some. I have just a nagging little voice in the back of my head that's saying, like, I have a feeling that there is going to be an Asia Pacific organization like NATO, that I think it's going to happen. China's way too big of a problem. There's going to be some, like Ukraine is right now with NATO, Ukraine and Russia, Taiwan and China. That's going to be a very big pain point for if that were to come to fruition, which I think it will. And furthermore, I think that those two are going to have like a, fist bump. It's a lot of the same people, you know what I mean? So, or people, nations, you know what I mean? Like, so it's going to be like, if you're just one, would you call it a new world order? I wouldn't, but still, I think that's something that's going to be an Asia Pacific treaty, mutual defense treaty. I think that'll be in the works pretty soon, if it's not already underway, under wraps. I think India will probably be chomping at the bit to get in on that. Even though, man, that's one of those like imperfect allies. So Prime Minister Modi is not the best, but then it glass houses fucking throwing stones and stuff. Like, yeah, I know that we're not perfect, of course. But, right, so just one little statement from the Foreign Minister of New Zealand, Mr. Winston Peters. His words, quote, "We cannot afford to sit back in splendid isolation in the South Pacific, pontificate smugly, and talk exclusively to those countries we agree with. It is critical that we show up, listen to all perspectives, and enhance partnerships with our traditional friends so that we can adapt to the complex global environment. The United States is one of our most important strategic partners in the Pacific, alongside Australia, Japan, and European countries. We can achieve much more with and for the Pacific together than we can separately." End quote. So, yeah, that's like everything I was just rambling about. That's what he just said. I mean, yeah. In a way, that is... He did kind of have a little bit of self-awareness there. Like, during COVID, New Zealand was the shining example of how it should have been done, how it should be done, if it ever happens again. Naturally, Americans and our capital F freedom with a little trademark will never do something like that. We'll never actually work together to solve a problem, because fuck you. Like, that would be the only reason that the freedom trademark types would give is, yeah, fuck you, I don't care. And, yeah, but that's, I guess, a different topic. Other news from Asian partner nations. Korea, Japan, and the US started, well, it's already underway in Korea. The sea, it's called the Sea of Japan. Korea calls it the East Sea of Korea. Stop. You guys are just making you're making yourselves mad by doing this. It's the East, I don't know what the fuck sea it is, but whatever. Anyway, in that region, they're doing joint naval training exercises. It's ensuring and maintaining readiness. The North Korean Central News Agency has been doing the saber rattling, is the phrase that bigwigs like to use, but they've been doing a lot of that. They're developing what's the solid fuel missile delivery systems, like it. So that's what they're working on, and a lot of statements from the head honcho over there in Bad Korea, as well as other, military people and party officials, talking about like we're preparing for war. War is inevitable, and we're making sure our most powerful asset is prepared, and that that type of shit. Same old shit that they always say, but I don't know. Given global instability, which both the spokesperson for these joint exercises is the Korean Naval Chief of Staff, and he's been citing like they're stepping it up because of not just because of bad Korea, but also the global instability is a phrase that he used, and that's the same thing that the North Korean, bad Korean brass people are saying as well. It's not just South Korea, it's not just Japan, it's not just the U.S., it's global instability. So the drills that this little trilateral commission did, that's the name of a conspiracy group, a trilateral commission, Bilderberg group, that type of nonsense. But anyway, so this trilateral group, the drills were to respond to submarines, this is like submarine hunting, interdiction on submarine-based nuclear missile launches, and blocking weapons smuggling that the North Koreans are trying to get through international waters. And this is one that I like, is that I like the most anyway, is cooperative search and rescue tactic development. So how do we, if one of the homies is, ship is in distress, what do we do? Or, how do we help? That kind of thing. Philippines and Vietnam, I spoke about that some time ago, that they're starting to get these types of exercises in as well, with us in an advisory capacity. So pretty cool. Well, I guess it's not cool because of why this is happening, but I don't know, I guess just being a little bit of a nerd. Yeah, I'm feeling like the dog in the burning house. These joint exercises, like observing them from afar, that's my coffee cup saying this is fine. Yeah, I think that's what we're dealing with here. I think I need to come up with like a rating system for how many turds a particular situation is. Just a simple 1 to 5, like rather than the threat con delta or whatever. It'll be 1 to 5 turds. That's how. 1 being like a stinky dog poop that you stepped in, and now you have to smell it for the entire time you have your shoe on and can't clean it off. So there's that. And I think 5 alarm turds. That is the amount of times you're gonna shit your pants based on what's happening. Oh fuck. Shit. I'm gonna have to get some merch or something. On a scale of 1 to 5 turds, what would you call this catastrophe that we're looking at? I suppose that it would be like conflict, military type conflict, armed conflict, not natural disasters. That is not. I'm not gonna like poke fun at those. So that's not funny. All right, I have been rambling a lot longer than I thought I was going to, but say la vie. Here we are. I'm going to turn it over to the convo dialogue, quasi interview, whatever, with Cigna. We're going to be talking almost exclusively on Arizona politics, but a little bit other like federal stuff too, but not. It's mostly focused on Arizona. So yeah, that'll be that. All right, here we go.
I haven't seen the document yet. I've been searching for the document so I can read it for myself. And, the ruling I haven't seen it hit yet. Let's see if I can find this.
what I was able to gather is that the ruling 4-2, that 1864 nonsense is enforceable.
Correct.
But the Supreme Court also put a 2-week stay to allow lower courts to process appeals or something.
Correct.
Man.
But also, it could extend to 90 days, I've seen, and I can't remember why it could extend to 90 days. I was trying to look that up, but...
I did see that Planned Parenthood has something that's already filed that was kind of waiting for this trigger, so they can continue providing healthcare.
So, really quick, just to answer your questions, I think it's a good outline. One of the things that, besides getting the abortion access on the ballot, which I'm positive it's going to be on the ballot now.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I cannot, everything that this Supreme Court just did, they just elected Biden in Arizona. Absolutely.
I agree completely.
And they just elected Rubin. Rubin's elected, Biden's elected. That's a foregone conclusion. And I said this to Rubin when he first started running. I said, just run your race, let the crazies be the crazies, and you will win. And that is exactly playing out. But the other thing that we want to do is, and you've probably seen this too, is so 2 of the Supreme Court justices are up for re-election.
Yeah, retention or whatever it is.
Yeah, we need to get rid of them. And so there's something that, are you familiar with Gavel Watch that comes out every election cycle? Is it like I want to say like a rating book on all the judges? Yeah. Temperament, objectivity. Does Gavel Watch. They do Gavel Watch every election cycle, and they'll vote green up or red down, and then they'll tell you why you should or should not vote for these people. So it is very helpful, because usually the most common thing that I get during election cycles from my family and friends is, what about these judges? I don't know what to do about the judges.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so Gavel Watch has saved me from that foolishness. So we definitely need to make sure that we don't reelect the 2 that are up, and then subsequent to that, the others that voted for it, we systemically take them out. Just systemically take them out.
Yeah, later down the line when it's their turn.
Yeah, and so what that would do, if we take these 2 out, that would give Hobbs, she can appoint 2, because everybody on the Supreme Court in Arizona was appointed by a Republican. Yeah. So we can start chipping away at them, 2 at a time, or however many, come up for election over the next few cycles. We can definitely undo this mess, and give Hobbs that appointment power. The next thing we can do, one of the things we talked about, that was one of the meetings I was on earlier, which turned into 3 meetings. But one of the meetings I was on earlier is we talked about the fact that we don't want the 15-week abortion ban, the abortion thing now, because it takes away our ability to, not takes away our ability, then the abortion access amendment is what we need. We don't want the 15-week thing.
The amendment is 24 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the amendment is, it will go, if we get the amendment, it'll go in the Constitution. It'll be, it will be bulletproof pretty much from the state legislators. Now, they will try, because that's what they're doing in other states. They will try to undo it once it's on the ballot. Like basically ignore it, because Ohio tried that, and I think one other state tried that. But, overruling the will of the people is just really a good way to get you not elected again, especially if an overwhelming majority, rule or want this, which in Arizona they do, whether they're Republican or Democrat, they do. They want a woman to have a right to bodily autonomy. And then one of the other things that we need to do, I don't know which legislators, definitely the Senate and the Republican legislators that are the hardliners on this, they need to be challenged and they need to be removed, because they're not representing the will of the people. And that what they'll say is, well, we're representing the will of the people in our districts because our people want it. Do they really though?
Right.
Do they really? Because if they're overwhelmingly signing petitions to put an amendment in the Constitution and then voting it into the Constitution, is that really what your people want? Or is this what your religious beliefs tell you people want? You're imposing your will on people that don't want it.
Right.
So those are the things that I would add to, what we do next. What are the next steps that we need to do? And we need to be, Leo, as methodical as they are on this, because what we do is we have a win and we think it's over. That's not the way they play. And this is combat. And we have to think about it as combat, and we do think about it as combat. Those of us that have, that background and experience is like, no, you keep on the enemy until the enemy is vanquished. Right. Period. Full stop. You don't let them up. You don't, play nice with them. They're not to be trusted, because they're not gonna give up, and neither should we.
They made that really clear with the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, where Correct. All of the three justices that he who shall not be named appointed. Yeah. Yeah. They all said, "Oh, Roe v. Wade, it's a done deal. That's the law of the land. That decision stands." And then they immediately overturned it. Yeah, they lied under oath too
in their confirmation hearings. And one of the things that the Democrats don't do well is they don't play hardball. We can impeach Supreme Court justices. We can remove Supreme Court justices. There's a mechanism to do that federally. But they're just going to let them lie under oath, because basically they were under oath. They perjured themselves.
They sure did.
You said it's established law. That's not what I'm interested in. And then you just publicly undid that.
Yeah, straight with not even with any considerations. Just decided. Right away. And it's the same thing that they're doing with all of these, a little off topic, but with all these things that are coming before them regarding elections and Trump. I mean, I don't know how you get around the 14th Amendment, Section 3. Right. By saying, push it down to the states. That's not what that says. That is not what that says. It says anybody that has held office and taken an oath cannot be considered to be reelected. And their solution was, we think the legislature needs to impeach.
Codify it. Why would they need to do it? It's already codified.
That's the whole point of the 14th Amendment.
Exactly. So we're just ignoring parts of the Constitution that we don't agree with. And they do the same thing, and I know you know this, like with the Bible. I'm a Christian. I'm actually a Christian minister. I don't parse the book to make it fit what I say, but I also don't impose my beliefs, my faith, and my book on people that don't think like me. And they do that. that is not what you were put in that place to do. Well, that it was, because that's
depending
very
on who
much-
appoints you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that something that really rings true, like what you just said, is like, I'm not Christian per se, but I do study the Bible pretty extensively myself for my own faith purposes, and also studying the Quran and other religious texts, and absolutely none of them ever, they all, I know that the Quran does for sure, but they all say do not force people into religion because it's not going to be real. They're going to say what they think you want to hear.
Exactly. It's just, it drives me insane. And I, like you, my whole life, I remember even being in school, a project I did for a class was, I studied everything. I studied, voodoo and stuff. Cause I'm like, I need to know. I mean, and I've been a Christian since I was almost 10, but I wanted to know, is what I believe the truth or is it not? So in order for me to make that decision, I have to figure out what everything else is. And then I can make a solid decision based on that. But that's the way my mind works.
Yeah,
but everything
I did the same thing.
Yeah, people don't have to do what I do. And I've had people from different religions, different than Christianity, and people that were atheists. I had somebody that had left Christianity, and one of the biggest compliments I've ever been paid is this person called me one day and said, I want you to know I've been watching you for years, and you are the truth. I know you're a Christian, but you don't walk around like beating people with the Bible and, thus saith the Lord, and you're going to hell. You just live it. And they said, I left Christianity years ago because I was brought up in Crazy Town. And they said, I have now reconsidered my stance on Christianity, and I'm going to, recommit myself because I've watched you. That is the greatest compliment I've ever been paid. I've had people of other religions that have come in my office at work, and I definitely not at work, tell people I'm a Christian, They just know it. And they close the door in my office and they're like, hey, this is happening. I need you to pray. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what now? They're like, no. I said, you do know who I pray to, right? And it's not, and they're like, listen, I need help, and I know you can get a prayer through. And I'm like, okay.
It's like what the Catholics do when they pray to saints. Like, please ask the big guy on my behalf, if you could, please.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, but I just want you to be sure to understand who I'm praying to, because I know we differ in what we believe. And they're like, listen, crazy lady, I need this fixed. I'm like, okay, you do know you can do it yourself, but I will join my faith with you and, send one up for you. But back to these nutcase people that make me crazy, and they make people like me crazy because we're pulling our hair out going, that's not what we believe. That is not what we believe. But because they're so loud and they're so hateful, oh my God, I just can't stand it. It makes me wild. Like, that we're not hateful people.
Yeah.
And you're not followers of the Christ. You're not, because he's not that person that he's not you. So,
right. Yeah. The running joke is always like, if Jesus returned today, you would crucify him again.
Exactly.
A little Palestinian socialist. You're going to crucify him.
You know it, and I know it. I would bet my puppy dog on it, and I love my puppy dog.
Every single thing I have.
Yeah. They would literally crucify him again, because they'd be like, who is this dark-skinned, woolly-haired,
terrorist-looking...
terrorist, and He's talking socialist stuff. We don't know. We're the capitalistic, pull us up by the bootstraps, forget everybody else, blah, blah, blah people. And it's just mind-boggling to me, and it makes me wild. But we're those of us that believe our book and believe, what we believe, that's just not who we are. And I'm like, but we're not loud like them. We're not like beating people over the head. So
yeah, I try my best to live and be an example. Like, this is what I may not be what others would consider Christian, but I do very much follow the teachings of Yeshua. So
yeah, and all of the Abrahamic, faiths stem from the same source.
Yep.
I make the joke, when the Middle East is doing what the Middle East do. I was like, that's Ishmael and Isaac's kid, and they're bad, and they're still fighting. They've been fighting for millennia, and they're still fighting, and that's his bad kids. So
to actually loop this back in with is
let's go back.
You're right. No, it actually plays in perfectly, because I've been reading a lot of quotes from, like, two in particular. The ones that like just really get me going the most is House Republican David Schweikert. So recently his district was redrawn. Before that district was redrawn, he was very pleased with the Dobbs decision. That's an exact word, is very pleased. But now he is saying that this needs to be the issue needs to be addressed immediately, like, because it's 1864 is not suitable for today's age.
Oh yeah, and even Trump. Did you hear Trump yesterday or the day before? And he's like, no, I believe the Arizona governor. You mean the Democrat governor? Is gonna fix your mess that you started? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Maybe he's thinking in the same line of Carrie Lake, because according to her, she's the governor.
Well, you know what? There's that. But I don't know how she's governor running for U.S. Senate. It's mind-boggling the way you have to twist your mind to understand what they're doing, because it's crazy. But yeah, they're so fraudulent in everything that they do. It's just fraudulent. But we have to stay the course and be diligent. I get crazy. Democrats make me crazy.
Yeah, of course. Me too.
Because it's like, Jesus, would you just stop being so weak?
It's not exactly the word I use, but yes, absolutely.
Nice, because I probably have cussed enough for you today. So
there's never enough curse words for the lack of spine in Democrats a lot of the time.
They don't know how to wield power. They don't know how to do anything. Even, the event that we're having next Friday, because I'm twisted, it is a Arizona for abortion access thing. I've got tons of legislators, city council members, JoJo's going to speak, Aaron from Feds Forward is going to speak, and potentially we're going to have a U.S. representative there, if he can make it. And it just boggles my mind. So I'm with a group, and I'm with Indivisible, the nationwide Indivisible, but it's Indivisible South Mountain. And I thought, because I'm twisted, wear the Handmaid's Tale outfit, because I'm going to be emceeing. Because it's 1864. They're taking us back to. They're trying to take us back to 1864. Indivisible's like, no, Signa, you can't wear the Handmaid's Tale. They said it was racist. I said, have you watched the Handmaid's Tale? Because I've watched the whole thing. It's dystopian. It's not racist.
No.
Why don't see racist. I'm a black woman. I didn't see racist. I saw dystopian.
Misogyny, straight up.
Yeah, it's misogyny. It's
Just
dystopian.
across the board. It didn't matter if the women were black or white or whatever, Asian, didn't matter.
I told the executive director for this region, I said, because she's never watched it, and I said,
please do.
I watched the whole series. There were black women. There were all types of women. There are even storylines on groups of black people. And I said, it's not racist. It in no way is racist. And I'm a black woman. I possibly could figure out what's racist or not. But, and that's one of my, I guess I'll say it to you. That's one of my problems with the Democratic Party, and that goes back to Martin Luther King. Some of them are our worst problems. The moderate, let's go along to get along. You're hurting us. You're hurting us. And you don't message. The Democrats don't know how to message. That's why I give to the Lincoln Project, because they put their foot in Republicans' behinds. I love it. I have donated to them numerous times. I had recurring donations in 2020 to them. I was like, go get them. Go get them.
Yeah, I've read a few of the members or founding members, a few of their books. They're really good. Yeah.
But the Democrats don't know how to message, and I love Michelle Obama. If they go low, I'm going to meet you in hell. Okay? I'm going to do it. Because fighting is not fair. Fair fighting means you lose. And I do know that there are some lines we can't cross, but are you serious? I can't wear a Handmaid's Tale outfit?
Was it going to be the red one or the green one?
Yeah, the one with the big white hat? Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But they said no, because, people may be offended. Oh my God.
Come on.
Oh my God. I was just like, whatever.
That's
whatever.
Kind of the point of sometimes for protesting. Correct. Is it's supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. But they're not about that. I had to tell Indivisible, the founders, before the 2020 election, because Indivisible wasn't going to endorse anybody ever. And I said, so where's your power? And they're like, what? I said, groups, organizations that endorse are wielding power. If you refuse to endorse anyone, then where's your power? And they were like, oh my God. And they went back and huddled up, I guess, in the corner and came back and said, okay, we'll allow groups to endorse, and if the groups will endorse like state people, then national will, jump on it too. And I'm like, I don't understand, you guys. You don't know how to fight. You don't know how to fight. But back to our let's circle back.
Some things that were interesting. I saw quotes from two state legislators, one in the House, one in the Senate. Just to summarize it for both, it's this is unbelievable. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is not acceptable in any way. And one of them was a little bit softer in the language, but regardless, didn't they have the opportunity to bring it to the floor in the legislature and repeal it?
They tried. Senator Anna Hernandez did try yesterday, I believe. And the Republicans left and wouldn't bring it to the floor.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, she tried yesterday.
Because there was a quote from, her name is Priya Sundarashan. Yep. I've met her a few times. She's really nice. Wonderful lady to just very admirable. Holy shit, she's really smart. But smart. Yeah, she was. One of the quotes from her is "This is completely disgusting. You're looking in the camera and saying how terrible this is, and then you're walking out on the chance to repeal it."
Yeah. They tried to bring it to the floor. I know it was yesterday because I saw Anna last night at Rocky Theron's event, and she was as red as her hair. She's like, they basically walked out. And I saw people online saying, you guys should have chained the doors, made them stay.
Oh.
I was like, this might be farther than I would even take it, but okay.
Maybe pull a Ted Cruz and read Green Eggs and Ham or something.
Exactly. But yeah, they tried. They did try yesterday. But like back to the thing, they really don't want to repeal it. We need that amendment so that this can stop. Because if we don't stop it fully, they're going to keep doing it because they've been doing it for 50 something years. The minute Roe was upheld, they put in a plan, and it took them over 50 years, but they did it. So we can never let our guard down. We can never think that they have given up. They will never give up. They're trying to wear us down. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, in their minds, it's like a righteous cause. That they think it's like a holy crusade or something.
And and I know, the most radical, crazy people have done atrocious things in the name of God. If you throw God in there, you could get nutcases immediately. Because that, pardon the pun, trumps everything. But yeah, and, over millennia, humans have misused God in that way.
Carrie
and
Lake.
That's what they're. Yeah, Carrie Lake, but she's such a clown. And Ruben just needs to stay the course because she's so clownish. It's just like just let her kill herself.
Yeah, she was on the record multiple times during the governor's race and saying that she named it's Arizona Revised Statute 13-3603.
Yep.
She named it by number. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then would later on say, I'm not really a detailed policy person. Like, excuse me, but it sounds to me like you read that one at least.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were okay with it. And you were okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We live, but we're living in, I think we're already in a dystopian society because I mean, my mind almost goes tilt daily. I literally cannot watch mainstream media anymore because of their, foolishness. I just watch subject matter experts. Usually, I have favorites on like YouTube that are, either policy people or foreign affairs people or legal people. I have stopped listening to mainstream media because they're in it for the clicks. Them telling us that the polls that have not been right for years say that this is a close race. Well, it has to be for you so you can continue to generate revenue so people will keep watching you because it's a close race. It's not a close race. It's not. And African Americans are not stumping for Trump. I have seen an organization that only talks to Black people. And they're like, the Black people we're talking to, who we verify are Black people, are saying their two major issues are Trump being reelected and white supremacy. So if the people are thinking like that look like me, do you actually think that they're going to vote for him?
It's weird that you said white supremacy twice.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So we just have to stay the course. It's battle time. We just have to stay in this thing. Let's see, what else did I have? So just I think I saw that did you say you were coming on Mobilize? It's been coming in strong. Mobilize has been.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yes,
so,
next Friday.
Yeah.
I'll be
so
there.
the ask I had, this is not just a rah-rah rally. That's not what this is. Because my community down here in South Mountain, we're not, the normies are not engaged like us.
Yeah.
So every speaker, I've said to every speaker, I need you to have one civic engagement ask, be it go sign the petition, because there will be people with tables there. That's forward. Common Defense will have tables. There will be a voter registration table there, because we're trying to get people civically engaged. They're pissed off right now, so let's strike while the iron's hot and give them something to do. So every single speaker will have an ask in their speech. They'll talk about the abortion access, but they'll like, and this is what you can do, and then, we'll guide them on things that they can do. And then we'll have resources there where they can sign up or get involved or do what they have to do. There will be another indivisible group there. Their only reason for being there is to get people petitions to circulate. So, and we're already over the 300 and whatever thousand signatures we need a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I think we were over 500,000. We want to be somewhere around 800,000 because, as you know, there's going to be court challenges to keeping this off the ballot, and they're going to challenge every single signature.
I was going to say, like, with a magnifying glass, looking at every single one.
So, those are the things that are going to happen at that next week. I thank you for supporting and coming. But it's not only just a rah-rah rally, because my co-chair, like, people don't come. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm Signa Oliver. I'm sorry. People are going to come. I mean, I have people that I sent out texts before the Mobilize got up, and they're like, I'll bring my whole group or my whole organization. I was like, bring the people. Tell people, bring the people. Because we need everybody engaged. That's the only way we're going to fix this. So, boots on the ground.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that, like you said, that this... I've been hearing it called, like, the political earthquake.
Yeah.
That, I think the Arizona Supreme Court just did us a big favor. Not in a roundabout way, in a backhanded way, but, like, they just handed the win. Like, here you go. Would you like Arizona to be blue?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and if I was those state legislators that, wanted this, yeah, I'd be shaking in my boots right now. Right now.
Yeah, one of the phrases that stuck out from Biden's State of the Union was when he looked at the Supreme Court where they were all sitting, and he said, "You all, you don't understand the amount of political and electoral power that women have, but you're about to find out."
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh yes.
That one's like, woof. That's fucking Dark Brandon.
Yeah, Dark Brandon threw on those glasses and said, "What is his face? Okay, Jack."
Yeah.
Okay, Jack. Hey, so I love it when he does that. I know he's slowing down, but he's still got that underlying wit, which I love. I'm like, get him.
Yeah.
Get him. So, yeah, they're about to find out, and they're about to find out, our co-conspirators that are men they're seeing their daughters and their sisters and their nieces rights being taken away. Yeah, they're not going to go for that either. So good luck.
That was something Ruben said on an interview yesterday. Was my daughter, newborn, only a few months old, is born into a world with less rights than my mother had.
Correct.
Like, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And I was literally alive. I was a preteen when Roe passed. But I remember the stories of women with coat hangers, and it makes me shake.
Yeah.
It makes me shake. People were maiming and killing themselves trying to do home abortions. I remember those days vividly. So
I have read accounts of like underground clinics that proper doctors would run them, but like they would abuse their patients while they were like gassed out.
It's true. It's all of it is true. I was alive. All of it is true.
Yeah. Goodness.
I just remember horror stories, and it was so frightening. And I remember when Roe became, was passed, that like there was a sigh of relief because, well-to-do women, all they had to do was jump on a plane and go get theirs. But women that didn't have means couldn't do that. They had to resort to those awful measures. And we cannot go back to that. But they're taking us farther back than that to 1864. I'm just saying. Oh, no, they're taking us back 160 years. So let's do this. That's why I can't understand why I can't wear Handmaid's Tale stuff.
So something that I've always, I have a suspicion, but I'm not sure. When I hear like no exceptions for rape, incest, fetal viability, or anything like that, and there's a key difference between health of the mother and life of the mother that I don't think a lot of people realize, that those are two very different things.
They are. And I'll share my personal story. My first marriage, I got pregnant immediately. In the 4th month, I started having complications, go to the doctor, they do an ultrasound. My doctor confirms that the baby's not viable. And because of my beliefs and faith, what I was hearing is there's going to be something wrong with the baby. And I was like, oh, that's okay. So we'll just take care of it. We'll just take care of the baby. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to have this baby. And he's like, no, Cigna. He literally had to break it down Barney style for me. He's like, if that baby stays in you, the baby's gone. The baby's going to start killing you. I have to go get the baby. It's gone. I promise you, the baby is gone. And it will kill you. And I literally, it blew my mind. I made his whole office cry because I ugly cry, and they probably were crying because I ugly cry. The next morning when they were going to do the DNC, the anesthesiologist couldn't put me under because I wouldn't stop crying. And my doctor was like, okay, you're going to have to calm down. You have to calm down because we can't put you out like this. And, and finally he got me calm enough to have the procedure. But it was devastating. I was in counseling for a while. I thought I was a failure. I can't even carry a baby, Yeah. What woman am I that I can't even carry a child to term or da. And it was devastating, and it was partially responsible for the end of that marriage. I literally, because I couldn't with him anymore. So it was devastating.
That's something that that Governor Hobbs brought up, actually, was that like Trump being himself was saying like, oh, the Democrats want to abort babies even post-birth. Like we want to murder babies. That's ridiculous. But that's all, like, but people are going to believe that. And I've had to explain that to black men, Leo. I have a guy that's he calls himself my mentee. And I said, no woman is carrying a baby for 9 months and then deciding at the end, you know what? I'm over this. Let's undo this. No one does that. No one does that. Yeah. The Hobbs said, her words, a doctor's not going to perform an abortion late in a pregnancy just because someone decides that they want one. That's completely ridiculous.
That's insane. That's completely insane. And then the other argument about post
half
delivery
birth abortion.
That's murder. Okay, that's not abortion anymore. That's called murder.
Yeah.
So I can't believe people believe what they believe. It boggles my mind.
So another thing that she said, like continuing in the same statement, was that late-term abortions are extremely rare, and if it's being talked about, it's because something has gone incredibly wrong in a pregnancy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have to
Yeah.
admit that I used to have my personal reservations about it, but like this statement right here, like that, once that clicked for me, that was when I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it's not even
Yeah.
that's not even my decision to make. Like,
And I'll tell you a quick story. I have he's now 16. I think he was about 12, grandson. And I guess they had been talking about abortions at school, and he comes home and he wants to have a conversation with me about it. And I tell him, I said, stop. Because he was kind of saying, women should be held responsible. And I was like, so pump the brakes, sir. I said, first of all, you got a uterus? No?
Right.
Okay, shut up. I said, secondly, you're a young Black male. You're big for your age. You have green eyes and nappy hair. So maybe, after they do the abortion thing, maybe they decide, we don't want young Black men with green eyes to be able to have children. You okay with that? He's like, how did we get here, Gigi? I said, because you came in here saying things like you have a uterus. I think we're going to stop. He goes, okay, we're going to stop now. I was like, thank you. So, no, we're not doing that.
yeah,
So,
I'm
and
not-
as proven, they're not going to stop with
No, they're
just,
not. Another
So.
one that was difficult once it finally clicked. It's another layer on how much of an idiot I was being. But I was thinking like a lot of politicians, conservative politicians in particular, like to say like, oh, a woman's just like stealing fatherhood from the guy. Like, well, okay, if he's in the picture, he's probably heavily involved in that decision. It's a little embarrassing, but I do like admitting like how backwards I was thinking about things, and like pointing out like, this is what you think, because I know you do, because I used to think that, and this is how that is incorrect.
And I did the same. That's why I fought my doctor to not do a DNC, because I thought the same way. I'm not going to have an abortion. I'm not going to kill a baby.
Yeah.
I thought the same way, and he's like, "You're not killing a baby, Signa. You're not. You're saving your life."
Yeah, it's unfortunately like you at that stage you kind of have to dehumanize.
Yeah.
The unfortunate little one, but
yeah.
I mean,
But to your point, I don't think our mind will allow it. Sometimes it won't allow it until it's like broken down Barney style. Like,
yeah,
okay, let me take you to biology. This is what's happening inside your body. And then part of the therapy was I was carrying around a dead baby. Oh, great. I carried around a baby. Oh, that's great. So, yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
This has been illuminating
Yeah.
and a little
But
cathartic.
thank you for the work you're doing. We need you.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah, we need you. We need everybody, all hands on deck, because this can go really sideways. And, if you have children, if you have people you love, how this is going to impact them if this goes sideways. So I appreciate the work you're doing.
I'll keep fighting the good fight along with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we could get called other racial slurs at another rally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll be fun. And did you ever get your check? Because I didn't get my check.
I
from
didn't
Soros.
either. Oh.
We're going to have to. Honestly, Carrie, I'm going to be like, so your people said I was getting a check from Soros. Has anybody got my check? I want my check.
I would very much. If we're supposed to be getting paid, I want my money.
Listen, B better have my money. So
Yeah.
Don't make me call George and be like, where's my dollars? Yeah. Soros HR, give us our money. But yeah, we can fight back to back, hand to hand, shoulder to shoulder. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If this develops, I'd like to have another chat with you
Okay.
later down
That's
the line.
great. Yep. Let's get cussed out together soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Right. What a bunch of bullshit. On a scale of 1 to 5 turds, what do we rate that? I don't... Fucking at least a 3. Are you... 1864, are you fucking kidding me? I used to associate 1864 with that episode of South Park when they go to the little reenactment town, and that's the year that the town takes place in, or is, you know, set to be in, 1864. And that's what I used to think about when I hear 1864. Now it's this fucking ridiculous shit. I mentioned it in one of the group chats for Arizona, the activists that I'm always doing stuff with. If we could we use the phrase or the term, the portmanteau of Arizona and Arizona? I think that's a good one. I might have to come up with a fucking t-shirt for that. I'm astonished at my own. My brilliance is just so underappreciated. All right, that's it. Just some quick shit to get it out of the way. I mentioned merch. If you go to lvxmedia.net/shop, you can have a look at all of our wares. As far as the Progressive Patriot stuff goes, right now it's only it's pretty specific stuff, so it might not have that much mass appeal yet, but who knows? Maybe Arizona is going to take off. I'm hopeful that it will. What else we got? Other shows, like if you go to the website, just lvxmedia.net, it's a lot of other stuff going on. Social media handles are lvxmedianet everywhere. If you can't find it, we're not on it. We do have a fucking YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/lvxmedianet. Wow, imagine that shit, right? But you have to put the @ sign in front of LVX MediaNet, so whatever. If I said something that just really rustled your fucking jimmies, or it just fucking tickled your nethers, 833 Lux Pods. That's 833-589-7637. You can call or text, whatever you prefer. If you want your audio on the show or in some capacity or on the socials, perhaps, call. It goes straight to voicemail, and either one, it's anonymous. So yeah, enjoy that. If you try to DM on social media, there's other people that have access to it that have nothing to do with the political show, so they might be very confused about what you're saying. So yeah, if you want, that number goes directly to me. So if you want to tell me how much you think I'm an idiot, or you would like to, stroke my ego a little bit and tell me how fucking hilarious Arizona is. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Progressive Patriots. If you want to hear more from me, fucking let me know. More regularly, more turd ratings, you tell me. See you next time.
camera, play your part. Instead of fuck the small talk.